cult members, and welcome to the Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
And welcome. It's been a minute since we've done anything. The world's been a little cray-cray, and really there hasn't been a whole lot to do. And so we finally decided that we caught up on some stuff, and so we thought we'd catch up with you guys. And we're going to do a review for The Great.
Yep, on Hulu.
On the Hulu, and Channel 4 from the UK.
Right.
So, very interesting. Okay. It's very interesting to watch the English try to do somebody else's story.
It's true. Yeah, they at least did not attempt Russian accents or to speak in Russian.
Yes.
They all have English accents.
And a very diverse cast. And
Yeah. Because I don't know how many black people were actually in Russia in the 1800s.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, we are very naive with this particular subject matter because it's about Peter the Great's son, Peter, and Catherine the Great, and her ascension to power. That's not really spoilers. That's what the story is about.
Yeah.
But so I'm not like super versed in the story of Russia when it comes to that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, and there was a couple of things that I was like, oh yeah, I think I remember that rumor about them, but yeah, it's not a part of history that we have studied very much. We both actually at some point individually, went and looked up to see how much of it, because I mean, they in the title card they say it's mostly true,
occasionally true,
whatever. Yeah.
There's been some I was a little interested in this mostly because of the cast. You have Ellie Fanning and Nicholas Hoult, who I both really like. And then as we were kind of getting ready to do the review tonight, I started looking through the cast, and it's every English actor who's ever been on stage or in Doctor Who. They pretty much you got Sasha. Is it Sasha?
Mm-hmm.
Daewin, who played the Master in the latest season. Sorry, spoilers for this last season of Doctor Who that's been out for 8 months. But he played the Master beautifully, by the way.
Yeah.
And he was in this too, which was kind of a surprise because he plays a very different kind of character than the Master.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But then it really got our attention. It's a period piece. It's the really cool costumes. It's about a part of the world that we don't know a lot. So it really needed to grab us. And there is a lot of grabbing in this.
Both physically and
spiritually.
Ecumenically. Grammatically.
So, if you are a little squeamish about language and blatant fornication,
there was some blood going on too.
There was some blood going on at times. If you're squeamish about any of that stuff, this show is not going to be for you.
Yeah.
But that very much like Game of Thrones, or even like something like Nip Tuck, you get the attention for the crazy sex scenes or the over-the-top blood and guts or the over-the-top cursing or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you come to the realization that that was to grab your attention, so you actually pay attention to the actual like story that's going on in the background.
Yeah, and at first I was like, it's a little gratuitous, and then as I don't feel like this is a spoiler, as you kind of go along, you realize these people are rich and bored, and anybody will do anything, just to remain in court and in favor with the king. And so, I mean, maybe it was to that extent in more than just the Russian court. It could have been to that extent in a lot of courts.
It was like that in the French court in the 1600s, and it was like that in the English court, and like all throughout history, and there's like known examples of that stuff.
Yeah.
And the kind of the work in the system and letting the king, emperor, whoever, allow them to do whatever they want as long as they're happy and don't torture everyone.
Right.
Oh, by the way, there's that too. But it was very kind of, I won't say shocking. I never find that stuff shocking. I never, like, I'm not, we curse on the show all the time and we're not squeamish about that stuff. But it was very much an attention grabber early on. Like, there was like, this is the attention grabber, but it also becomes a narrative story point throughout the entire series. It wasn't something that they just threw in and then, 5 episodes later they kind of shied away from it. It was part of the story they were telling the entire way through.
Right. And and like I said, it's, it becomes apparent that it's just a bunch of spoiled, bored, rich people that and they feed off of that so that more things happen towards the end that just are a continuation of that. Because
of that, I am immensely impressed with both Nicholas Hoult and Ellie Fanning. Ellie Fanning, who plays Catherine, comes in this wide-eyed, naive, young. I think she's 19 when she comes to court.
I think she's 18.
18 when she comes to court.
Yeah.
But she's, she's naive and she's wide-eyed and and
she's German. She's not Russian.
She's not German. Yeah, she's very much not Russian, which is something that happens to be a sticking point for a lot of the series. But Ellie Fanning is the little girl from Super 8.
Right.
She's the one who drives, and once I kind of got to the point with her, like, you see her maturation. That's the word. Masturbation. As you see her grow in as the character, you kind of get past that. Okay, this is not the little girl anymore. There's a couple sex scenes where they're having a full-on conversation, but there's a sex scene going on. But then there's a proper, like, fully enthralled sex scene later on.
Right.
And then she's also, the first time she says fuck in the show, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh. But it's like 4 or 5 episodes in before you start realizing, oh, she's actually growing up into this part. And I thought Ellie was amazing.
Yeah, I thought she did a really good job. I think that she's probably 20 or 21 by the time the first episode or the first season ends. Sorry, I have allergies and my nose is like so yeah, it's over a period of time that you and Nicholas Holt's character changes,
gives zero F's in this role. Like, he's fully engulfed in this role.
But he goes from spoiled, everybody does what I want them to do, to he starts to grow up a little bit and starts to have some emotions, and then
has his heart broken.
Yeah, and then things like then you get to see him with the king of Sweden.
Yeah.
They're in the middle of a war during most of this, so they come together to try to talk peace or whatever, and you get to see him kind of show a little more emotion there too.
A little more emotion, but he also gets to meet somebody that's very much like him.
Yeah.
Which is just, feeding the beast.
Yeah.
The whole time. I love that episode, actually. One of the things I do want to talk about with this show, everybody's performance is really good. Like what they each of an individual character brings and how they allow themselves to change with the circumstances and everything. But the one thing I wanted to talk about the most before we get out of here was I talked about how I think this was probably 2 episodes too long.
Yeah.
And it's a 10-episode season, and I think it should have been 8. But then I started thinking about it some more and more and more, and they talk about it multiple times that this is about playing the long game.
Yeah.
And you have to play the long game. If you're going to talk about playing the long game, you have to play the long game in the episodes.
Yeah.
And you have to do a lot of these, what I think at the moment when I watched the episodes, because we binged it all over like 2 days.
Yeah.
Or 3 days. But the things that I thought were probably things you probably could have thrown away, looking back on it now, realizing that they were not necessarily important, but that's part of the long game that you have to play.
Yeah, and there's a lot of character development that's happening, again, because you're dealing with all these different, there's a ton of people.
Yes.
That are involved in just...
There's like 12 major characters that are involved in this.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
And then you have kind of all the secondary court people, and you kind of need to go delve into their lives just a little bit to make you care about them at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of character development that has to happen in there to get you to buy in and to care.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the long game. But going back and thinking about it, it actually did go along at a pretty good pace. Each episode, even with the commercials on Hulu, was a little less than an hour.
Yeah,
and so that made it.
And then we got to the last episode, and we're like, wait, I need to know what happens.
Yeah, that was very interesting. They definitely left it on a major cliffhanger. A couple articles I read, it was like, it's a minor cliffhanger. No, it's a major cliffhanger.
Yeah, I would be very unsatisfied if I couldn't.
But the creators had said that when they pitched this to everybody, they laid it out as a 6-season arc. Okay. And then everyone, the writers, the producers, the directors, the cast, everybody wants to come back. They're just waiting for Hulu to hum it.
Yeah.
And Hulu's usually pretty good about waiting a couple of weeks before they re-up for another season, especially something with big production design like this.
Yeah, they want to make sure that they're gonna that it's gonna be worth it. Obviously, people are gonna watch it,
and it seems like it's going over pretty well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get at least one more season, if not 2, based off of what we're getting right now.
Yeah,
numbers are a little skewed right now with a lot of people staying home too. So
it's
true. If they're taking
something new drops, and everybody's like, I gotta watch this immediately.
Yeah. So we're a little bit behind the game with this one, but I still wanted to review it after we watched it, and I thought it was pretty worth it.
We had some other stuff to watch.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We were rewatching some stuff that we needed to
We got
rewatch.
HBO Plus, and so the first thing we did was watch Ready or Not, and then we watched Torchwood.
HBO Max.
HBO Max. Yeah. Because
not Plus. That's the one they have Go and Now and Max.
That's right. Right.
Not Plus.
Yeah. So that is our thoughts on The Grand from Hulu and Channel 4. Let us know what you thought of the show.
The Great.
What did I say? The Grand?
Yes.
We haven't done one of these in a while. I'll fix it in post. Not really. That's our review of The Great.
The Great.
The Great from whatever. You know what we were talking about at this point in time. Let us know what you thought of our review and the show overall. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and follow us on all the social media stuff, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're get back on the horse a little bit here.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of movies out, but
yeah, we'll do a movie review next, and so we'll talk about it there. So until next time, cult members, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.